Welcome to
Introverts Own Your Voice. I'm Tom Marcoux.
And I'm Johanna McLeod.
This episode is Power Time Management, Secret Sources for Your Success. Johanna, I'm wondering, what do you feel could be better about your use of time management?
Well, for one, procrastination.
I'm right there with you. When I'm in front of an audience or I'm working with a client and we're talking about, oh yeah, I need a new system of time management, or I need to improve my time management, the person says. It's usually about procrastination. It's usually about getting ourselves to do those things which will move us forward faster. I have a phrase. I say, what you dread gets you ahead. So the idea is, how can we get ourselves to do those things that we know will raise our level of success and happiness, but are tough to do? I have a system. Each letter stands for a method, and the word is rise. So we can rise up from where we are. We can rise to a higher level of productivity and of insight and of making better decisions. R stands for rehearse and listen. And much of what we're talking about is something that I help people, like during one of my workshops, I help them rehearse the methods so that it becomes part of them. I of RISE stands for intensify systems. Johanna, is there some kind of system that you use to get something done?
When I need to write an article, I usually jot down some ideas first and then connect things.
Great, and that's a system. So I imagine when you have the items on the piece of paper, you can see how they might connect with each other. So systems don't have to be complicated. In fact, I have two major ideas about creating that system. Remember, I is for intensify systems. The first idea is the concept I call design for consistency. The idea of design for consistency centers around that we need routines. If somebody wants to exercise more, they can put their running outfit right on the side, right next to their bed. So the first thing they do is they get right into their running outfit when they get up in the morning. That's a system, but it's a design for consistency. When it comes to these podcasts, we record them in 25 minutes, and that makes it easy, because if it had to take 2 hours, that would not serve consistency.
Yes.
And then we have it cut down to only about 12 or 14 minutes. So the idea here is that design for consistency is crucial with a system. The second thing I want to talk about is CPR. Now, of course, CPR stands for
Cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
excellent. Yes, and that's how you bring somebody back to life, right? You get their heart going again, or you get them breathing again. Well, how do we bring more life to our days? Well, CPR also stands for Q, C-U-E, preset action, and reward. Now, when I say cue, I also think of like trigger. There's something in the environment. Now, to make this really simple, here's my example. If I need to write something, if I have an idea that comes to me, I might be too tired to type, but I can grab the microphone, preset action, and dictate into Google Docs. And that will give me a reward of being proud of myself. I'll have more energy, and also I won't be afraid that I lost some important ideas that I can share with an audience or with readers. CPR, Q, preset action, reward. That's also part of setting up a system. The next thing we have is S, which stands for say no with grace. What's the problem about saying no for you?
I just really don't want to disappoint the person.
Wow, that's powerful. And in fact, we do work with that. When I talk about part-time management, I talk about more time, less stress, and zero procrastination. To get more time, you have to take time back from the people who want your time and take your time from you. So you have to say no. But you mentioned how you don't want to disappoint anyone. So we need to say no with grace to protect the relationship. I'm going to just do a very brief overview here. I call it the 3 Gs. G1 is get away from an immediate no. What I mean by that is that you don't say no in the same conversation. You'll say, oh, hey, let me get back to you in about 2 hours. Let me double check. I have to talk to a couple of people here, and I have to check my schedule, see if there's any way that I can fit that in. My plate is pretty full. I'm not sure, but let me call you back in about 2 hours. Or let me call you back by Thursday, 4 p.m. So that's the first G. There are 2 more Gs. G2 is about go over your regret in your tone. What I mean by go over is like, how we go over details or we go over what's needed in a situation. When you do express that it's a no, you express your regret, your sadness. You can say something like, I'm sad to say my plate is full and I can't be part of that at this time. You sound disappointed. So this is part of that disappointment thing that you're talking about there, Johanna, earlier. But also, it's a thing that leads into G3, which is give some modest help. So you kind of soften the blow of the disappointment. I'll give you an example. I was invited to participate with some kind of meeting. That was going to be an hour and a half at the meeting, an hour to get to the meeting, and an hour to get back from the meeting.
Oh, wow.
Way too much time. And so what I said to the person is, I'm sad to say, my plate's too full, and I can't be part of this at this time. But I do see the value in what your group is accomplishing. I see what you're doing. Let's say the guy's name was Joe. I see, Joe, what you're doing, and I want to be helpful. How about if I work with you, kind of like a little coaching session for about 10 minutes on the phone before you go into that meeting? How's that sound? So what I've done is I've shared some way I can help. I'm kind of showing that I value this person, and at the same time, I am pulling back some of my time. So that's how you have more time. Part-time management leads to more time, less stress, and zero procrastination. Finally, we get to E of RISE. And E stands for energize. Good, excellent, and amazing. So Johanna, when you set up your tasks for the week, do you disappoint yourself?
All the time. I always have this list and I never quite get through the whole thing.
I'm right there with you. And in fact, this is why we focus on good, excellent, amazing. You focus on good. You know for sure you can get those things done. So you can get the good feelings. Excellent is about stretching. If you feel that you want to do a number of marketing phone calls, and if you say, okay, I can do 1 a day, 5. Or you might do 3 on 1 day, and then you might have a day off. Or you might have 2 on 1 day. But you might start off with 5. That's good. I can do that. What would be a stretch? 10. Okay. What would be amazing? 20.
Oh, wow.
So you have to think on a different level. How am I going to do 20 marketing calls? Well, maybe I can focus for 2 hours. I could be totally focused. I could have every piece of paper or on your laptop, all the information of 20 people. So you can just go marketing call, marketing call, marketing call, one right after another. Amazing is great because you expand your thinking. So, by the way, this gets me to notice it's time for a Marcoux moment. That's when I share an excerpt from one of the 47 books I've written that are all on Amazon. And the book we're talking about is Time Management Secrets The Rich Won't Tell You. Gain freedom, avoid burnout, use time leverage for wealth. So here on page 9, and this is an interesting question. Why don't the rich say these important details? Here are some of the reasons. They don't want to appear weak. They use strategy and keep secrets. They do not know because they are like a natural athlete who does not analyze and communicate like a top coach. The details do not fit the myth of the self-made millionaire. They don't want to admit human failings and how they had to overcome some real internal blockages. Now I'm going to move to another page. On page 16, here's another excerpt. What counts is that you get access to your intuition. Steve Jobs insisted that his engineers revise the iPod so that users could get to their music in just 3 clicks. The idea of just 3 clicks is an example of what I call a leap up idea. The key to huge productivity is getting access to leap up ideas. You need time to think, recover, and get access to your intuition. And so that closes our excerpt from the book, Time Management Secrets The Rich Won't Tell You. Gain freedom, avoid burnout, use time leverage for wealth.
It sounds like reading this book is time well spent.
Well said. Oh, that's terrific. Thank you, Johanna. And now I'm curious, Johanna, what are you going to keep from our conversation?
I like that part where you tell us how to express regret for not being able to help the person on what they needed done. And expressing feeling is how you say no with grace.
Excellent. I'm so glad that that landed for you. Say no with grace. I cannot help someone have better use of time if they don't make space. Ultimately, we need a personal energy buffer so that we can be strong. Making sure that happens is about making time and space to keep you strong. You need to be great at saying no with grace. Thank you, Johanna.
Thank you, Tom.
For articles and videos, go to getthebigyes.com. Also, visit yourbodysoulandprosperity.com. We're glad that you heard this broadcast, and we invite you to
Click to subscribe.
and then you'll be supporting me and Johanna and our message.
And so now remember,
Introverts can show their best self with strategy.
I'm Johanna McLeod.
I'm Tom Marcoux.
Thank you.
Be well.
Bye.